Good morning, dear investors. My name is Bakashaba. I'm a senior investment associate at Nabo Capital. Today, I'll be taking you through the performance of our Africa top picks, as well as the performance of the Africa markets as of last week. To give you a brief overview, the Africa top picks are a basket of our top 10 highest conviction ideas within the equities asset class across Africa. The Africa top picks, in a nutshell, represent performance of our Pan-Africa equity strategy that we use on a day-to-day basis to invest on behalf of our investors. We periodically rebalance and review these topics, adding and taking out names or stocks that we feel have either delivered their return or adding stocks that we feel are yet to deliver the return that we expect. To give you a brief overview of what we saw happening globally as of last week, there were investor concerns that the United States and China will not be able to strike a trade deal by March 1st, which was the pre-agreed deadline. And in the absence of a trade deal, what's happening is that most investors are becoming jittery about global economic growth, which will likely result in investors taking a risk-off stance when it comes to allocating to emerging and frontier equities. Bringing the conversation back home, our Africa top picks gained about 3.3% last week, and this was largely attributed to strong performance on our banking sector stock picks in West and East Africa. Overall, the Africa top picks are up 7.2% year to date, which is strong performance compared to what we saw last year in 2018. Touching briefly on the Africa markets, Egypt was our best performing market last week, gaining 4.9%, and this was largely attributed to strong company earnings releases that were better than anticipated. Taking the discussion to West Africa, we saw the Ghana cedi come under selling pressure. It weakened by about 3.5% on a week-on-week basis, and this definitely impacted the foreign investor that is allocating to this market, losing 3.8% overall within the market. Taking the discussion to Nigeria, this week is an interesting week for our investors in Nigeria. The Nigerians will be taking to the polls sometime this weekend to vote on the next president, and I think this is an event-driven play that most investors will likely be positioning themselves for. Moving on to Southern Africa, we saw some selling pressure on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange last week. However, key to note is that this market had started a rally as of January, and it was one of the best performing markets across Africa. So we likely attribute this to a bit of profit taking on some of the positions that had gained momentum. And we saw this replicate in Namibia as well, where the market also came under pressure, resulting in negative performance on a week-on-week basis. Thank you for watching. My name is Bakashaba, a senior investment associate at Nabo Capital, and you're watching Invest in Africa.